One, two. Check, check, one, two.
The Finke Desert Race Committee and club members congratulate and thank all our sponsors for getting on board Australia's greatest desert race. Not only is it the premier off-road event in the country, it is pulled together by a voluntary committee with enormous community support. It is the generosity of sponsors that keeps costs down and assists us to promote it far and wide. The Finke Desert Race Committee acknowledges the 18-year unbroken naming rights sponsor in Tatts. Tatts have invested in excess of $750,000 in sponsorship since 2000, and together we have forged a strong sporting partnership. The one thing that the Tatts Finke Desert Race has maintained since it started allows anyone to enter. Whether you're the best in the country or just in it for fun, all competitors strive to achieve a finish. It is with the help of our platinum...
Welcome to the 2017 Tatts Finke Desert Race, the 42nd running. I'm your host for tonight, Ben Bishop, and with me right off the bat, we've got a guy who's been here the whole time. A little bit of piece of furniture when it comes to this race. Anthony Yoffa, welcome back, mate. You've sort of maybe just done this all before.
Is that stand here with you, Benny, or will be part of it here? What a fabulous night.
How good is it?
We've got 140 car entries, 571 bikes. We've got already the main pit straight is full, and we must have 7,000 people in town visiting the event. It's enormous. It
is enormous. You can just pick that little bit of body language of pride in this guy. It's a huge team, though, isn't it?
Oh, and you are part of it. You did a great job last year, and I'm really part of the event.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's an absolute privilege because it's not just what this means in Australia, but really starting to echo around the globe now, isn't it?
Isn't it? Having the likes of Harley Lettner here this year, we've got people back from, I think, the Netherlands, that guys that just like riding that have come back again. And as Toby said, Dakar riders want to chase him here, and he's been trying to encourage people to come over here. Of course, the creme de la creme would be Robbie Gordon, and that's your job.
Yeah, we may have a couple of connections there. Brad Gallard may have some connections as well. That whole deal of cars growing, you came up with a cap of 150 cars a few years ago. We're right on the cusp of that.
Well, we're virtually there. We did have 150, but then we've had a few withdrawals, as you would expect. The event's got to its maximum. We can't take any more than 600 bikes and 100. Continue to grow. We need to look seriously about whether we cap it at that, or in the future, perhaps in 5 years or so, if it continues to be, the must-do event, we may look to, dare I say it, run cars and bikes on different days.
I thought that might be where you're heading, and I didn't know whether you wanted to say that publicly. That's a big call.
I don't.
Yeah, he didn't. Just forget that last couple of minutes. So that is pretty massive because I guess it's a sign of massive growth in the light of the fact this is the 30th anniversary of having cars at this event. 12 years into the 42-year history of this event, they decided to allow 4 wheels. Was that controversial at the time, 30 years ago?
Well, fortunately, I wasn't around then, and I wasn't even racing, but yes, it was. There were people that said, this has always been a bike race. It's been a bike race for 12 years. Why are we letting 4 wheels in? And the event to continue and to grow and to make it spectacular, we'll introduce cars and have them race in the dark. And that was truly magnificent. Yeah, great.
Absolutely, huge spectacle. In fact, if you'd like to head over, you can see over in, notice that the original Corvette winner, it's over there.
The original car winner in 1988, which was driven by John Fiddler and Peter Lewis. It was restored 2 years ago for the 40th event. It's in shiny yellow. Who would have thought a Corvette with ordinary Holden suspension
I noticed that
would get down and, more importantly, get back?
Leaf springs on the back. It's high technology. That's one of the massive things that we're going to look at this year as well, is just that change of technology. It is becoming a big dollar event when it comes to the investment in these cars and bikes.
It certainly is, but we don't go away from our true roots, which is anybody can race the event. And I think if we excluded the recreational riders, we wouldn't have the numbers that we have. Yes, it's very professional, but there are those that want to see that this is the event that they need to ride, and they want to continue to do it. I mean, this year, half the bike field are first-timers.
Yeah.
They haven't raced before.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible.
I was actually privy to a conversation that my co-commentator Matt Henderson was having with somebody just the other day. It was actually a buggy competitor who remained nameless, and he
What's
said
his
to him,
name?
oh, no, exactly. He said to him, "So, how did you go? Did you have a little bit of a look at the first part of the track?" And the guy goes, "No." And Hendo just could not hide his reaction to that. He was just like, "Oh, you're in for a bit of a surprise then." It's a tough game.
It is a tough game, and thanks to the Alice Springs Off-Road Club, that a lot of the teams, and you talk about the professionalism, a lot of the teams go down the track and race around the off-road circuit, the club circuit, where they don't need their licence, but they are within the club circuit, so it's off the road, and that's where they can fine-tune their suspension and then get ready for, you know, prologue day and ultimately race day.
Finally, Yoff, we need to acknowledge that this venue just keeps getting better every year too.
Well, it is, and again, you know, this was an experiment last year after being at the showgrounds for, oh goodness, I got involved in the event in 1996, and the event, the scrutineering was at the showground, was at Traeger Park actually, in a marquee, which was heated. Yeah. Sensational. And the cars and bikes used to file through and then park around the oval.
Yep.
In 97 it went to the velodrome. It was freezing cold and all the cars parked around the velodrome. It looked really good. And then in 98 we moved to Blatherskite Park. But 2 years ago, came here, thank God it's not raining. I mean, if it was, you wouldn't be watching this, except on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't be standing here.
I can imagine. Definitely wouldn't be. I can tell you, if you are watching in on a live stream, it's just a little bit chilly, but that has not deterred the amount of people out here. 5,000 people came out last year, and it's looking like it's going to be a fair bit bigger crowd. Hence the reason there's more food, thankfully. So it's a great night. Chocolate Starfish coming on stage at 7:45. We've got our own DJ here at the moment. There's a really, really cool atmosphere. So if you are in town and watching the live stream, just, pull on the long johns, come out and join us. Yoff, great to be back. Great to have you back. Thanks so much.
Good on you, Benny. Good on you. Good luck for the weekend.
You too, mate. We look forward to catching up with a couple of more personalities who are involved with this year's 2017 Tatts Finke Desert Race. We're going to take a break and be back with more of those guests soon. Welcome back to the Tatts Finke Desert Race for 20. But he's also been on a bike, and he's a homegrown Alice Springs boy. Great to have Hendo back. I'm just going to refer to you as Hendo because that's just the easiest way. But welcome back, and you live and breathe this thing, buddy, don't you?
Absolutely, I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm checking past results and doing really silly things like looking up, people who are coming from interstate to ride or drive for the first time. I am actually truly infatuated with this race.
So we'll call you officially the Finke stat guy.
Well, I suppose so. I mean, if there's stats around for the Finke, I guess that I'll be able to find them for you, yes.
You will be able to find them. All right, we're going to get a chance to have a chat to some of the guys and their stories from the past, as well as some guys who may never have even figured in the top 50, but have still got amazing stories of how they got there. What's something that sticks out to you about the lead up to 2017 that really has got you thinking and excited?
Probably a lot to do with the bikes, the bike side of things. I mean, we've probably got, 6 or 7 guys that potentially could win it. And there's only 2 guys in the field this year that have recorded a time under 2 hours on the way to Finke, and that's local guys, David Walsh and Damon Stokey. So, and then the only other guy that's won it that, has a serious chance of winning it this year is Todd Smith, and he's never done under 2 hours. 10, 12 years that under 2 hours is what it takes to get to Finke to win.
There's probably something that we need to, I guess, put to bed, and that is the concept that Australians are a little bit painful when it comes to picking the negative side of things. For whoever wins 2017 in the bike category, there's going to be the guy out there who goes, oh yeah, that was the year that Toby didn't run. But the reality is, winning this event is just as much about the event as much as the lead up as well. If you don't survive in the lead up, which Toby hasn't been able to do, and a couple of others as well who are big names, that's part of this event.
Absolutely. I mean, the race, you're racing against yourself, obviously. The terrain out there is extremely difficult, so you have to make it there and you have to make it back to win. So, and you can only beat the people who are racing in the race, this time. So, obviously, Toby's not here and he's going to be spoken about a bit over the weekend, but I think we, really need to talk about these guys that are racing this year because they're the ones that are in it to win.
So, on that note, is 2017 the return of the local?
Well, it could be. I mean, the first time in 11 years. Ryan Branford, the last one to do it back in 2006 for the locals, and I think a lot of weight has been placed on David and Damon especially. And those guys will be fast, but they have to be fast tomorrow as well. I mean, we've got a whole day tomorrow to get through.
Yep.
Those guys are starting first and second off the prologue grid, obviously with the top 2 guys not here from last year. So it'll be really interesting to see how they go in prologue. They're going to want to be up the front, and then it's a mad dash on Sunday down to Finke.
Let's have a quick chat about that prologue. We had a look at the track a number of times today, a couple of circulations. It looks smoother than what I remember. Is it just me?
Absolutely. I mean, the Glenn and his team have done a fantastic job with the track. We were driving around there in a Prado today, and it was like a road racing circuit, honestly, compared to what it's normally like. So it loops back around and takes back off into the distance. That's really smooth. For the cars at the start, it's going to be good. They're probably going to chop it up a bit, and then the bikes will be rough a bit later. But it's going to be interesting to see this new whoop section down the fence line over to the left-hand side of us here. That's going to be very interesting to see how the guys get through there.
Yeah, interesting because I was just about to... There we go, nice microphone. I was just about to mention that. It almost looks manicured. It looks that even, those whoops.
Yeah, and they've been pumping a lot of water into it this week. Every time that I've come out here this week, the guys have been going up and down with the water trucks. So they're, again, a fantastic job to Glenn and his crew, the guys that have put, enormous amounts of hours into the track. So it's going to be a really good day of racing tomorrow. And then we've got Sunday and Monday as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be a massive few days. Well, we're going to take a short break. Big thanks to Matt Hendo Henderson, who's going to be joining helicopter and head down to Finke in a couple of days' time as well to get some interviews and some insights once they get down to Apachula. He's going to go and do a little bit of walking now and find some of the stars and some of the people with the stories. We'll be back with some of them straight after this. Yeah, well, yeah, bro.
Eddie, how you going,
Good to see
mate?
you, man. What's happening?
No, not much, mate. Yeah,
Yep, we're ready. Cool. Let's go.
Well, there is a very, very cool atmosphere down here at the moment. It's just electric. There's such a level of expectation about where we're going and what's going to happen with this event this weekend. Of course, there's a lot of speculation about who's going to take the car crown. And, well, with cars, it's going to be interesting because Glenn Owen returns. We're going to get a chance to have a chat with him shortly. But let's go to the KTM stable because this guy's got all eyes on him. Dave Walsh, welcome back home.
Yeah, how are you, mate?
I'm doing well. I just noticed you just actually took a breath in. You're a little chilly.
It's freezing out here, mate. Oh, yeah, could never get used to this. I'd prefer it to be 40 degrees.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're used to in the desert now. All right, there's a lot of pressure on you. Let's just call it as it is. How are you feeling?
Really good. I've just tried to stay away from it all, to be honest. And, yeah, just try to keep my head clear and focus on what I've got to do down the track.
2016, running in podium finish in third. What would you change about 2016 for this year?
Well, last year I had a bit of a get-off on the way down, which was a silly mistake that I made. So obviously want to fix that. And I just need to get a bit more aggressive with the track, I think, and try to push a bit harder. I just need to really push it for the, under the 2 hours and get it down there quick.
Okay, so for me, listening to that, it's almost like a contradiction because on one hand, you had an off, but then in the next breath, you're saying, I'm going to push a little bit harder. How did the off happen if it wasn't because you were going too hard?
Nah, the off happened because of a silly line choice. Just hit a big rock and that I didn't see what was there, and yeah, it just put me down. So I've definitely had a look at that spot a few times, so I know where to go now.
All right, the amount of times that you would do a line choice calculation in a split second on your way down and on your way back, what percentage do you reckon you get right?
Oh, a lot of them, to be honest. We've spent a lot of time down the track, so we know the track very well, so we know where we got to ride and what lines to hit and what's where's rough, where's not. So yeah, we just got to be really focused down the track and make sure that we are staying to where we know is good. And yeah.
I understand that. I know that the way you approach this is that you try to lock out everything else and not worry, but surely you're aware of who are the possible best contenders against you?
Yeah, obviously there's my teammates that are extremely fast with Luke Hayes and Jack Simpson, and then there's the Yamaha guys in another local, Damon Stokey and Josh Green is on the team as well. Then you got the Honda guys, the Smith brothers, they're always right up there. There's competition everywhere you look around this joint, so yeah, it should make for a pretty exciting racing.
Dave Walsh, absolute sincere best wishes. I know that everybody around here is just really, really gunning for you and the rest of the locals that are in the good show as well. Go hard, buddy, and best wishes and a safe ride.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much.
Dave Walsh, man, there is a good confident glint in his eye. That is cool, isn't it? Confidence for us, for the locals, knowing that our hopes of getting somebody from Alice Springs across the line on that top spot back soon. I think Glenn Owen may be around, our reigning car king of the desert. We'll get a chance to talk with him shortly. That's all right, we can do that. Yeah, there's plenty of kids around here and having a good time as well. Let's have a chat to the blue-tongued lizard here. What's your name, young man?
Tyson.
Jason! Come around here, Tyson. Come around here, Jason. What have you got? You look like you're having a ball, buddy. Clearly, he's... Yeah.
Very fast.
What's the chances of you going to bed before 3 a.m. tomorrow morning?
I don't know.
Maybe we should ask Dad. Dad, what's going to happen when there's this much fairy floss? This looks like a disaster.
It's looking pretty bad.
Are you a local?
No, from Adelaide, mate.
Oh, big drive. So you've come up to be a part of a team?
Oh, well, I know the blokes from Loveday. They got the Can-Ams up here, and my son's favourite bloke's just there. So I was going to try and grab him a minute and say hello.
Oh, okay. Well, we may just have a little bit of a chat to him as well. Do you reckon you should? I reckon you should introduce him to the crowd. How does that sound? Do you reckon you should say, "We're now going to talk"?
We're now going to talk to. You say that.
You say it, Dad.
You, go on.
This worked really well.
Mr. Rhodes.
What's your name?
Mr. Rhodes.
Mr. Rose.
There it is. He reckons this is his favourite guy. Jack Rhodes, come on in, defending Australian off-road champion. Buddy, you're looking a little bit chilly tonight as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit cooler this year, so we've all had to rug up and brace ourselves for the cool change coming in.
Okay, successful in this last season. There's obviously a confidence is not an issue for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We had a good last year. A few things didn't go, very smooth. Last Finke wasn't a real good run, but I think coming off last year, we definitely can feel a bit better about the effort that we've put in and should have a good strong year this year.
What would you change about last year?
It's a hard to say. If I had a glass ball that I could see the future with, yeah, there'd be a few things. But we always go into it with 100%, and the people backing us always do the best they can do. So there's not really much we could change. It's just how the cards were dealt. So we were really happy with the year.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because the harder the contest, then the more, I guess, luck does play a part. But it doesn't take away from the fact that whoever crosses that line first on Monday really has earned it.
Yeah, definitely, and it's why everyone keeps rocking up every year, and whoever wins is always respected. It's not an easy thing to, no one's ever been gifted this race, so it's definitely an achievement, even just to finish.
Okay, so to tick this thing off the list, what does the future hold for you? Obviously, that's on the bucket list.
Yeah, definitely. The future hold for roads racing, I'm not real sure at this stage. We've had a pretty, awesome, and being able to tie the knot and very being, that's been unbelievable. We didn't think we'd have such a good day as what we did, and it was so to top that for the rest of the year, it's going to have to be pretty special to beat that.
Isn't that nice? Because sometimes these car drivers and bike riders, they tend to play the macho thing, but you're getting all romantic on us. Nice work.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say that. But
Nice work, mate. Well, congratulations on a stellar year and the number one on the side of the hat there that you can get a little bit of that merchandise. No doubt that's for sale somewhere. Best wishes for the weekend.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Jack Rhodes, oh, wow, looking good, isn't he? He's looking nice, and, that's the way that Jack plays, isn't it? Just, holds all the cards close to his chest. There is still a rumour that Glenn Owen's out there, our defending champion, to have a chat with. We'll see if we can catch up with him straight after this.
The Finke Desert Race Committee and club members congratulate and thank all our sponsors for getting on board Australia's greatest desert race. Not only is it the premier off-road event in the country, it is pulled together by a voluntary committee with enormous community support. It is the generosity of sponsors that keeps costs down and assists us to promote it far and wide. The Finke Desert Race Committee acknowledges the 18-year unbroken naming rights sponsor in Tatts. Tatts have invested in excess of $750,000 in sponsorship since 2000, and together we have forged a strong sporting partnership. The one thing that the Tatts Finke Desert Race has maintained since it started in 1976 is that it allows anyone to enter. Whether you are the best in the all competitors strive to achieve a finish. It is with the help of our platinum sponsors that anyone can have a go. We acknowledge the following: Alice Springs Town Council, Central Comms Alice Springs, the Community Support Program, Imparja Television, Lassiter's, Lion, Northern Territory Major Events Company, You Bet, and our official radio partner 8HA. The Finke Desert Race Committee would like to show great appreciation for our gold sponsors who provide key services and expertise to support the running of the event. As Build NT, Chubb Fire and Security, Telstra, Ram Hire. With a race of epic proportions, it is the smaller sponsor that gets targeted by competitors hoping to. A portion of these also support the event, and we are grateful for their contribution. The club now asks you to support those who support the event. Think of that the next time you're ready to make a purchase. We'd like to thank the following sponsors and supporters: Acuna Springs, Alice Equipment Hire, Asprint, Complete Fencing, Wholesome, National Australia Bank, Red Centre Technology Partners, Thrifty, Yiparenya Shopping Centre. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are unlike many other promotional modelling positions around the country, selecting real women who have both a passion and interest in motorsport, but also have an interest in volunteering their time to a community event. They become part of the Finke family and are widely recognised. These women all bring a wealth of knowledge, experience and passion to the event and audience. We thank each girl for their contributions as volunteers. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are proudly sponsored by naming rights sponsors As Build NT and accommodation partners.
We'll make this, so we'll just go to two shot at the start, and then I'll come around with Jace. Yep. As well. Yep.
Go me further back.
What's that, sorry?
Go me further back.
No, you can stay there, and then I'll come down again.
Alright, okay. Come on, wrong side. My sponsors are on this side.
Why do you want to change?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, we've been catching up with some of the former champions and some of the big hopes for the future of this, and particularly this weekend of this event. But let's change the tape a little bit and go with a guy who, gosh, it was hard to watch, but still a great achievement. Limped across the line 8 minutes past overtime last week with 3 wheels. Ian Baker, can I say welcome back?
Thank you, and let's hope we don't do that again.
Hey, but you finished.
I finished, and we were never going to stop. Yeah. Never going to.
So, okay, last year was with your co-driver, Ben. You limped across the line with 3 wheels. So I was up in the box, saw the whole thing. Year before, I mean, there was still a better result than the year before where you actually blew an engine.
Yes, the valley cover just let go and poured about half a gallon of oil straight over the exhaust. So that was standby fire time. Yeah.
That's when you've got to make that terrible decision as to whether or my beer.
We went with fire extinguisher. and saved the beer.
You saved the beer, I'm not surprised. Now, there's such a massive background to the story of how you guys got here, why you are in this race, and the organisation that you represent.
Yeah, so we're a team that's solely formed of injured and ill veterans, and it's actually a program to support injured and ill veterans. So racing is the bonus of it all. So it's formed around the old Ramus Rover, which did Fink back in 1989, and unfortunately at 35k mark did a 5-looper, and that finished it. But we've still got that car. We've brought it out of a museum, and it's currently at my place being refurbished, ready to bring it back. But the team is based on that, and with my work with Race to Recovery in the UK, we set up RSL Ramus Rover Racing. It's a challenge program for injured and ill veterans. We bring them into the team. We give them an avenue to vent their concerns. We deal a lot here. So the concept of the team is to put them in a race car, invoke a little bit of anxiety and get them to use their coping mechanisms so they can have faith with the skills that their psychiatrist and their psychologist has given them, and their attitudes change and their growth changes. It's a wellness program. It's not just about racing. It's about being back into that team environment, and off-road racing is the most perfect environment for that. It's rural. It's away from big, well, apart from today, away from big crowds. It's back in the environment they like. It's a back in an environment that they can trust in a team environment, and that allows them to talk about the issues and where they came from.
Now, so let me just put that in simple terms. You're putting ex-veterans in a car, essentially creating an environment for them to trigger their anxieties and probably take them to places emotionally that they don't really want to go, but it is all...
The benefit of it is this is one of the most attractive sports you could ever come across. I mean, let's be honest, you're belting through the bush, something a lot of us are all Army, that's very intimate with. We're very knowledgeable in the bush, very comfortable out there, and having a 6-strand barbed wire fence 1 metre off your car one way and thick scrub another metre off the other side, and you're doing over 100 mile an hour, the guys love a little bit of excitement. They've been in the Army, they understand threat, they enjoy it, they relate to it, and then they trust it because it's a team thing. And that's what the formula is, and that's where it does so much good work.
And you've seen some success?
Significant amounts of success over a lot of people. Some people need to stay longer, some people only need a short amount of time, but we're an ongoing program, so they can revisit and come back. So it doesn't end.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's the thing, it's the follow-through, isn't it, to make sure that they actually get established and get things under control. Mate, it's amazing what you're doing, it really is. Out of all the things you've done, I'm so impressed and I'm inspired. There is one thing you've done, though, that I can't even get... Bring a pommy out to Australia to try and rub our nose in our own race. Jason Gill is right behind me here. Why the heck did you bring him?
I really want to take the opportunity to thank Race to Recovery to come, because I want to embarrass the hell out of them. We've still got the Ashes and they're going to have to live with that. So, look, we took a lot of inspiration out of Race to Recovery. They're 4-time DAC entries. They've done a lot of first with physical impairment in MSA sport over in the UK. They have set benchmarks in physical impairment in motorsport, and we want to learn from them because we want to branch into physical impairment and support those guys with physical impairment, and we want to introduce them to what motorsport is in Australia. So we're learning from them and they're learning from us, and hopefully they go home with a very red tinge of dust in their teeth.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a chat to the guy that Ian's talking about. Jason Gill, welcome to Australia, all the way from Chester.
Yeah, thanks very much. This is real English, but
already started. Now, what we might do is we've got to do something right by the sponsors here. We're going to switch because the sponsors are on his patch here. So I'll switch over this side. He turns around that way. And look at this. This is doing the corporate thing. Mate, great to have you here. How the heck did you meet that guy?
Well, he came over and joined with the team a few years ago. Saw the structure of what we were doing. As he said, we've done Dakar quite a few times. We've had a lot of success with the physical side of the problems that are caused within motor racing. So we've pushed the limits and we've tried to do different things and get the allowance to go through to actually do motor racing as well. I did Goodwood last year, Goodwood Festival of Speed. I was the first one to do the forest stage with hand controls. So for me, I'm paralysed from the waist down, so I can't use my legs at all. So everything that I'm doing with a rally car, I'm actually driving it only using my hands. So you know, a lot of people are a bit hesitant and a bit wary about whether it's capable to be done. It's not a problem. Just needs a little bit more thought, and that's all.
I guess the new generation a little easier to what you're doing because of PlayStation hand controls, maybe not using a throttle with a foot, those sort of things. For the young guys out there, the controls you've got, are they sort of like a PlayStation?
To be honest, they're actually a little bit more like a motorbike. Where you've got the throttle, the gear, or the say for the indicators, we're actually using that for gear changes. And then you've got the brake obviously in your hand as well. And then I use my other hand for doing the steering. Yeah. So it's, I mean, we're going on to a next stage now where we're going to try and sort out the manual car with a hand clutch, so we can still use manual gearboxes, a little bit more control over it. But the automatic gearboxes are getting so good now that we might not need to. They're getting controllable, so it's getting better and better all the time. We're still pushing the limits and trying new things to see what we can do.
It's amazing, it really is. Now, let's have a look at the terrain that you're dealing with. Yes, you've done Dakar and all these sort of things, but what's your first impression weekend?
Well, I personally wasn't with the team when they done Dakar, but we've done a lot of off-road racing. For this part, when we talk about off-road racing, we talk about mud.
Yeah.
You don't have mud here, you have sand, and there's lots and lots of it. So this is going to be interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be great.
Fantastic. So if you want to look out for these guys, you might want to describe your car to everybody so everybody knows where you're in.
It's Ian's car. It's a Pro Light buggy, and he's going to shout things in my ear to tell me what it's like. It's 189, and
it's a green Cobra.
Oh, there you go. It's a green Cobra. Cobra. That's the correct saying, the Cobra.
Cobra, exactly right. Let's just get the Queen's English right. Interesting, it's almost as strong an accent, but not unlike talking to Tommy Walkinshaw when you have a little bit of a look at this guy as well. Great to have you here, Jace. Welcome to the Tatts Finke Desert Race for 2017. A lot of talk about the rise of the locals, and one guy from last year and this year comes back with a vengeance. We've got a bit of a story in the lead up though. Welcome back, Damon Stokey. Good to have you here, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Okay, let's have a look at that hand because I heard a rumour. Oh my gracious, get a load of that. No matter where you're standing at the moment, this feels a bit romantic, doesn't it? I'm just trying to hold it steady for you. Wherever you are right now, have a look up on the video screen, and maybe we'll get you to, bring that up on its side a little bit so you can just see. That's a 7-week-old injury, correcto?
That's right, yeah. Fell off in a race in WA a couple months back, and 7 weeks old today it is, so see how we go.
Okay, you go after that accident straight to the doctors. What sort of a forecast did they give you for healing time?
They gave me 3 months off the bike, but they always over-exaggerate things. So I got it healed up as quick as I can, and yeah, I've been doing everything I can for it. So yeah, we'll see how it
Scenario would have been in there with the doctor, and he goes 3 months, and your response was probably, have you ever heard of a thing called Fink? You weren't going to let this thing go, were you?
No, I was stressing out big time, but everyone from Yamaha helped me out, get me back on track, and got me all fixed up. They flew me over to Brisbane and seen a hand specialist over there, and yeah, everyone's been really good about it. They're giving me the best help I can, so I'm just stoked to be on the start line tomorrow.
The start line, yes. The finish line, what would it mean to be the boy who brings it home for the hometown?
Oh, it'd be unreal. Just to finish is what I'm after this year, given the circumstances. But I've been chasing a win and a podium for a long time too, so it'd be unreal.
What would it mean to Yamaha?
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be pumped about it as well. They've come out with a faster bike this year, so more competitive bike in the desert. So yeah, they'd be really happy as well. It'd be good to see another manufacturer up there too. So.
Okay, there's the question for the people, and there's a lot of people in on the live stream tonight from all around. They probably must be thinking, hey, the race starts in Alice Springs, the guy lives in Alice Springs, surely he gets to ride on the track whenever he wants. Is that right?
That's true, yeah, but I've had the least time that I've had on the track this year just with my hand injury, so I've only been able to ride the last week and a half, so my pre-running time's been cut short a bit, but that's the way it goes, and I've had a lot of time down here in the past, so yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the track, but it has changed a bit this year too, so see how we go.
Rumour has it that the first section is fairly manicured and fairly tidy, but after the first section, then it gets maybe rougher than we've ever seen before. Is that what you've seen?
The first section's been pretty well groomed, but the amount of traffic that it's had in the past week, just with everyone being here for the race, it's churned up just as much as it usually would. So, yeah, it's pretty similar to what it always is. It's really rough at the moment, just from the amount of traffic, and I'm sure it'll be just as rough as it.
Well, thankfully, it's not the right wrist, it's the left wrist, and that maybe won't have to do quite as much work. Damon Stokey, on behalf of everybody in Alice Springs, all of the Yamaha fans out there as well, best wishes for what hopefully is at least a podium this weekend for the young guy from Alice Springs. Well, one of the coolest things about this race is just who Birdsville is where we're going to go next. And how cool is it when you look at the name of a team and it tells you the intentions of what their weekend is all about. Cracker Coldy Racing. You can work it out. Boys, turn around and show us your beautiful faces. Welcome all the way from Birdsville. Your name, young man?
Sam Barnes.
Sam Barnes, and this is Grant?
Bowden.
Grant Bowden. Now, boys, how did this all happen? And Cracker Coldy, I have no idea what you mean by that.
No, well, ironically, I don't drink, so I don't know what it's about either, but he might be able to help you out.
Is that true, Grant? Is it true that you came up with the name?
I didn't come up with the name, but I do drink a bit.
Do you? And is he true when he's saying he doesn't drink?
Yep, very, very true.
So what? Coca-Colas, milkshakes?
Yeah, iced coffee.
Iced coffee. Well, maybe we could. That's what you mean by Cracker Coldy iced coffee.
Exactly.
All right. How many times have you done Fink?
About a dozen times now, probably, yeah.
Best result?
Last year we won.
That is really, really impressive. So as much as you guys are clearly in this for a lot of fun, there is, over those 12 years, there's starting to emerge a little bit of a competitive spirit as well.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit addictive. Any year for the rest of my life, if I've got a car going, I'll be at Fink.
That's amazing. That really, really is cool. So this guy doesn't talk a lot when I put a microphone in front of him, but if you put a microphone on his mouth as a co-driver, how's he go?
Yeah, he screams a lot.
He screams a lot. Can you give us an example with my clip? Keep it clean.
No, I know. I don't even. We're probably the last car around. We don't even have intercom, but I hear glimpses of him every now and then when I throttle off.
So just use his hand signals?
Yeah, exactly.
There it is. Well, best wishes, guys. The boys from Birdsville, Cracker Coldy Racing. Keep your eyes on them. 11th outright last year and won their class. Maybe, just maybe they can step up into the top 10 this year. We've got one of the cool hogs in the house coming up soon after this. Well, if you go back to one of my favourite TV shows, Dukes of Hazzard, there was one of my favourite characters, the Boss Hog. We have, I guess, a Boss Hog when it comes to this amazing race. A 4-time winner and an 8-time Australian Off-Road Rally champion. Shannon Wrench is in the house all the way from Warrnambool in Victoria, where it's maybe just a little bit colder than this, but...
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be like this here. Oh, probably this temperature, but windy and raining, I'd say.
Oh, and as they say at the Speedway there, the sea mist comes in.
It does, yeah, the sea mist. If you don't like the weather, you just wait 10 minutes in Warrnambool.
Exactly right. I don't think there's much chance of a sea mist here at Alice Springs, but does it make a difference to the fact that this is forecast to be a colder than usual sort of thing?
Yeah, we've been up here years in the past and it's been pretty cold, like -2 and stuff, so it makes it pretty hard, especially heading back to Alice on Monday morning. Pretty cold and freezing when you're in the car for the first half an hour or so, but...
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 4-time champ, what is the secret?
Yeah, it's a tough race. It's not easy. It's hard enough just to finish, let alone win. So, yeah, just a lot of work goes into getting here and preparing the car, and just got to have everything go your way on the weekend. You know, prologue well, and just you can't afford to have any trouble. It's pretty much a sprint race these days, so can't afford to have one flat tyre, or just got to be an ideal race, really.
All right, I'm going to allow you to tell me, what word would you use to summarise your 2016 campaign at Finke?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. It wasn't hard. Probably, yeah, a few years ago we had a really hard one. We broke with like 400 metres to go and we're in third. That going back probably 6 or so years now. But yeah, last year wasn't good for us. We had trouble. We were running really well on going down to Finke, and then we broke a power steering. And then we had trouble with the torque converter on the way back. So yeah, just wasn't meant to be last year. So hopefully we've got all sorted for this year.
At the start of our little chat here, you mentioned how hard it is on a really, really cold Monday morning to come back from Apachula up to here. What is the secret? I mean, there's so many of these guys want to have the party atmosphere. But you guys are pros. You want to get as much sleep as possible. How do you marry the two?
Oh, when you get down to Finke, usually you're worn out because you have, like, it's pretty early start tomorrow and then big day on Saturday, and by the time you get down to Finke, you're fairly worn out. So we just, roll the swag out, and it doesn't take much to get to sleep.
It's really high class, isn't it, down there?
It is, yeah. Pretty low class for us, but no, it's only one night, and it's all part of Finke.
All right, so it's a possibility that you could be at the top, take Glen Owen off his perch?
Well, that's the plan, yeah. We can't have him take test, and a lot of work into getting up here, and hopefully it's good enough.
Keep your eyes on the BF Goodrich Hogs entry. Shannon Wrench, a 4-time champ. Can he make it 5? Well, we're going to find out in the next few days. And yeah, he just looks quietly confident. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to the Tatts Finke Desert Race for 2017. If you wanted to write a script that really fit into Hollywood, you'd go and do it the Hayden Bentley way. Let's go back to 2005 where we ran third. Then the next year, run second. And then the next year gets first. It's a beautiful script. He went on to do it again in 2013, but that was all in a single-seater car. 2 years in a row now. This is his second attempt doing it in a truck. Hayden Bentley, all the way from Port Pirie. Welcome back to Finke.
Man, how you doing? No, it's great to be here. This is awesome.
It is really, really nice. There's a great atmosphere here tonight. The fans are out. You're saying hello to lots and lots of people. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. Look, this is part of Finke. That's why it's so special. Cars and be part of the event. That's what it's all about.
It is absolutely. Now, we were just saying how your great accomplishments in this particular race have all actually come in a single-seater deal. This is a very, very different beast. This beautiful truck behind us. This is the same truck as last year?
Yeah, we did run the buggy last year because we had engine issues with the truck, and it was new. We had to sort it out. The year before we ran the truck. But no, look, it's great to have it back here, and this time we've got some miles in the seat, and got it to where we're really happy with it. So it's going hard and it's finishing, and we're really looking forward to it.
Must be a very different beast from a single middle seat car to sitting on the left side.
Yeah, it's chalk and cheese. The single seater was really light, had ridiculous amount of power, and all of a sudden I'm in a truck that's half a ton or a ton heavier, and totally different to drive, but really enjoying it. It's good fun, and look, the crowd love them, and let's just hope we can get them up there with the buggies.
Bit of a tour of the thing. We'll see if we can get around and have a look at it. I mean, how different? What would be the biggest thing that's different in this to a single seater?
Oh, look, obviously with any buggy, the engine's in the back, so your weight is totally different. You're talking 50-50 weight ratio roughly with a truck, which is awesome. Bigger tyres. Like, we're not running a transaxle. You're running a solid diff. There's a lot of similar but the same, if that makes sense. But more wheel travel. The trucks are running up around 30 inches, I think, where the buggies are sort of topping around 22 or so.
So let's just pause for a sec. Wheel travel, please explain.
Movement wheels up and down from bottom to top of travel. So the trucks are up around, I think they're topping over 30 inches. Buggies are like I said, lower 20s, and front and rear. So the trucks, they've got good and bad. They're heavier. We're a bit underpowered. Unfortunately, we're limited to 6 litre in them. So it's hard to compete with the twin turbo buggies, but we make up for it. We got more wheel travel, and so.
Does that equate for you? I mean, I know this has never been about comfort, but is it a little bit smoother?
Yeah. When you get older, like I am, mate, it's all about comfort. It's about fun. We've raced here for a long time and enjoyed it in buggies, but it's a different challenge. We'll do our best to get compete with the buggies. Qualifying track hasn't helped us. They've graded it. I think we're at a speedway event, not off road, but it'll work out in the long run.
I've actually seen speedways that are rougher than that.
I think if you put a good rally car on the prologue, it'll be hard to beat. But it is what it is. We just got to drive with what we got, and as much as tomorrow's important, you still got to finish the race.
Absolutely. This looks high. Is it hard to get into?
At my age it is, yeah. But no, look, it's actually, a lot of the buggies are big now too. So, roof height is actually pretty similar to a lot of the newer, Jimcos and so on. But this is a racer truck out of the States. It's what they call a 6100 class, I think, in America, which is a smaller version. They can run big block engines and so on, where we're limited, so we've got to have a lighter, smaller truck than what the Yanks run. But look, it's still awesome. They're good fun. And speaking of the Yanks, it's great to have a couple of them out here to race. And there's a lot of guys in Australia that have raced in America, so it's good for a change that we know the tracks and they don't. So, it's off road, and Finke's what it's all about.
All right. Is it actually possible to get into this thing? Like, is it difficult, or do you need a degree to do that?
You might need a milk crate. You're a bit short one end, but I'm sure you'll get in.
You reckon I can have a go at getting in?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, you hold the microphone, and you better give me some tips as I go.
Don't drive it, though. You might be quicker than I am.
How do you do this? So, left leg in first?
Hop in, stand on the seat.
Yeah. Can't get up. I think the jeans are a bit tight.
Yeah. They might have shrunk.
So I can't step on your seat?
You off, don't be rude.
I'm not going to get in there.
Both feet in first and then slide in.
Can I break it? It's not going to happen.
Don't start it, you mightn't be able to hear us.
That was just, you can interview me now. You want to interview me like I've just won this thing, or what?
Yeah. Can you drive it fast in the prologue for me?
No. I feel a little bit claustrophobic in here, actually. There's a lot of gauges, man. Surely you don't have time to look at this stuff.
No, that's another reason we've gone to the two-seater. It's getting pretty fast nowadays, and I couldn't struggle to watch it. But no, all the cars now, the technology is ridiculous. You know, keyless pads and the amount of computers in them is frightening. So, you know, they might be off-road, but they're very sophisticated. A lot of the top cars, that's for sure.
I think you're doing a great job of doing this. I reckon you should take my gig for the rest, but I don't reckon I'll be able to replace you here. Hayden Bentley looking good. He's won this 2 times in the past. Can he get back on the top in the next couple of days? We're about to find out. Best wishes, mate, and holding the flag up.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back very, very soon. Don't stand in front of this thing. I may just start it.
I actually think he's going to struggle to get out.
He probably did. It's the 2017 running of the Tatts Finke Desert Race, and social media-wise, we'd love you guys to get involved. There's actually an Instagram spot here just under the start-finish line where you can see, get everything ready, and it's all done for you here. So if you're on Instagram, come and get yourself a photo in here. In fact, I need some people to come and join me now. Come on in, come on in, come on in. There we go. We're going to do this, jump in the light. Any photos that you get, we need you to hashtag it Finke17. It goes into the album screen. So if you want to see your photo up on the super screen and on the live stream around the world, then hashtag it Finke17, whether it's a picture of you with your favourite driver, rider, whatever, your favourite car or bike or buggy or quad, doesn't really matter. Get it in there, hashtag it Finke17, or maybe just a picture of you down at your campsite or somewhere on the grid even here tonight. Make sure you get it on hashtag Finke17. Welcome back to the Tatts Finke Desert Race for 2017, and there's a little bit of an interesting combination that's happening this year that has brought in a little bit of an international influence. Now let's have a chat to Luke Ayres, all the way from Brisbane, buddy. Welcome back, good to see you.
Thanks, mate.
A little chillier than Brisbane.
It's very chilly. It's very chilly, and we've got to get up extra early tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Now, a relationship with Harley Lettner, bringing him out here. We'll get a chance to chat with him shortly, but cool story.
Emily and I went over to the Min a few years ago, and we had a good mate, Dan Curran, from Off-Road Cartel. He met Harley before, and good crew to hook up with down there, and Harley being Harley, just a good bloke, and we hit it off, and the relationship's just gone from there. And we went back for the 1,000 in November, and we literally just stayed at their places, like hung out for 2 weeks. It was amazing, just a boys trip, and I hit him up when we were over there. We were actually having beers at the Desert Bar in Parker, and I said, hey, why don't you just come over and teach me how to drive this car?
And that was the offer, and he's taken the offer.
Yeah, it went pretty smoothly. Like he took it straight up. It's his old car, so he knows the car really well, and he sold it to the Taylor family a few years back. They've had it, and first year racing the car.
So from an education point of view, I mean, you throw that line out there of come and teach me how to drive the car. I mean, there was talent there to start with.
We had a Class 8 car. I've had that for like 10 years, and then we wanted to step up into the Pro class. I've been learning to drive the car and getting better at each race. But Carly, look, he jumped in the car today, and you can just see straight away why he is so fast, and I'm already learning, so I can't wait for Prologue tomorrow.
Very much looking forward to it. We're going to get a chance to have a chat with Hartley Lettner all the way from Orange County, California. We'll have a chat to him in the next couple of minutes. We're not too far off from an Aussie, I guess, journey band. They're fantastic guys. We'll get a chance to chat with them, and they will go live in concert very, very soon. Chocolate Starfish here at the Tatts Finke Desert Race for 2017. We'll be back with Harley Lettner very shortly.
What do you think they're talking about? Who knows? Hair, shoes, makeup, girly stuff. Doubt it'd be anything we're interested in.
They definitely don't look like they belong trackside, that's for sure.
Look, check out that 350 LS1. You can't compete with that kind of torque.
Sure, raw power, but a 3.5 litre turbocharged V6 definitely has the upper hand.
Maybe, but let's talk about reliability. With turbo spinning at over 100,000 RPM on a track that rough, anything can go wrong. A naturally aspirated V8 is unbreakable by comparison.
Yeah, well that's all well and good, guys, but let's talk bikes. Who in their right mind's going to ride a 450 in this race when it's going to need to podium?
Yeah, totally. Who wants to be revving their bike hard through those whoops?
G'day, I'm David Walsh.
And I'm Conan Robertson.
When I'm racing, I'm focused on getting to the finish line first, so I need spectators to stand back from the track and give riders and drivers the room they need.
On Finke weekend, thousands go camping along the track, looking to have a good time. So keep your fires small.
Take your rubbish home.
Drive safely.
And keep Finke fatality free. This year, G'day, I'm David Walsh.
And I'm Conan Robertson.
When I'm racing, I'm focused on getting to the finish line first, so I need spectators to stand back from the room they need.
On Finke weekend, thousands go camping along the track, looking to have a good time. So keep your fires small.
Take your rubbish.
Welcome back to the 2017 Tatts Finke Desert Race, and Desert race. That's an interesting term because it's got a little bit of a connection with our last guest on the microphone tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, you might be able to even rouse a round of applause for our American guest all the way from Orange County. Put your hands together for Harley Lettner. Welcome, buddy. Good to have you here.
How's it going, man? Thank you.
Okay, this is a desert race. You are currently nailing the desert race deal in America, and you come off your win at the Lachlan race as well. Confidence sky high.
I'm in the class 1500 buggy with U Theory, and it's pretty stoked to come over here. You know, not expecting a lot, just want to come out here, and I'm going to run my hardest and see how I fare against Australia's best, and see where we put myself on the map over here.
We were just chatting with Luke about the relationship and about you agreeing to come over, and there was the word of education. Can teach me how to drive this car. How do you teach someone how to drive a car like you drive it?
Yeah, it's been great. Luke came over for the 1,000 and spent a bunch of time with us and my buddies over there, and tossed the idea around about coming over to Fink, and him and the Ayers family have brought me over, and we're going to run the car. And Luke keeps saying that he wants me to teach him, but I don't think he needs any teaching. I think that's just his excuse to ride with me, but he does just fine himself. But it's just my old car. I have like 10 years in it, and I think he just wants to watch and pick up a tip or two here from me since I am familiar with the car. So hopefully we do well and I learn him something.
You're learning him something. I love that. Okay. You're mastering at the moment, looking at you've won the last 3 races, I think. How is this terrain different?
Yeah, this terrain is definitely different. Like, we have lots of rough races at home, the Mint, Parker 400. It's very rough, but we went and did this in the Ranger the other day, and I was blown away. Really? Yeah, it's we have the rough, but we don't have anything as rough and consistent in such a long row. Like, we'll have a couple of Ks of rough, you know, and then we get a breather, but from what I saw, there's no breathers here, and the holes will swallow up the car, so it's definitely different, but I would say it's rougher than anything we got going over there.
Wow, that is a big call, and I think probably between me and my co-commentator Matt Henderson, we'll probably use that term a little bit. That there's no chance for a breather. That's a big call.
Yeah, no, it's really nuts. I mean, once you get down past the water tower, we get some of those smooth graded roads, but everyone at home thinks that racing down under is all fast rally roads through trees. About to race this one, but I did some pre-run, and it's not all graded roads and trees. There's a little bit of it, but they definitely have some rough, and they definitely throw some rough out that will compete with any rough race over in America.
Well, we'll give you a nice, smooth entry into it with a nice, smooth prologue tomorrow. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Just nail some of those burns. We got a couple bumps at the end, so just hoping to lay down a very solid prologue lap and hopefully start up in the top 10 is my goal, and see if we can't hold our own down to the end.
Absolutely. There is a lot of people who'll be very interested to see how these guys go with Luke Ayres tomorrow. Keep your eyes on that, baby. All the way from Orange County, California. It's great to have Harley Lettner here. Welcome, mate. Best wishes for the weekend.
Thank you very much. Stoked to be here, and thank you guys for having me.
Well, there you go. That's the last of our guests here tonight as far as our scrutineering chats down here on the main finishing straight. From here on in, we are only moments away from Aussie rock legends Chocolate Starfish joining us on the main stage. He's been nailing it. In fact, I think he's the hardest working DJ I've ever come across because he hasn't taken any breaks all night. It's not like DJs at all. So head on over in front of the stage. Maybe leave the cars and the bikes and the quads over here in the main finishing straight now and head over in front, ready to form a big crowd for the concert with Chocolate Starfish coming up very, very soon. Get your singing voices on because I think it's going to be a little bit loud here in Alice Springs. Maybe a song like Mountain might come up and You're So Vain, which I think may or may not have been written about my co-commentator Matt Henderson. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Hang around, plenty of food, and Chocolate Starfish are on their way on the main stage in moments away here at the Tatts Finke Desert Race for 2017.
The Finke Desert Race Committee and club members congratulate and thank all our sponsors for getting on board Australia's greatest desert race. Not only is it the premier off-road event in the country, it is pulled together by a voluntary committee with enormous community support. It is the generosity of sponsors that keeps costs down and assists us to promote it far and wide. The Finke Desert Race Committee acknowledges the 18-year unbroken naming rights sponsor in Tatts. Tatts have invested in excess of $750,000 in sponsorship since 2000, and together we have forged a strong sporting partnership. The one thing that the Tatts Finke Desert Race in 1976 is that it allows anyone to enter. Whether you are the best in the country or just in it for fun, all competitors strive to achieve a finish. It is with the help of our platinum sponsors that anyone can have a go. We acknowledge the following: Alice Springs Town Council, Central Comms Alice Springs, the Community Support Program, Imparja Television, Lassiter's, Lion, Northern Territory Major Events Company, You Bet, and our official radio partner 8HA. The Finke Desert Race Committee would like to show great appreciation for our gold sponsors, who provide key services and expertise to support the running of the event. As-Build NT, Chubb Fire and Security, Telstra, Ram Hire. A race of epic proportions, it is the smaller sponsor that gets targeted by competitors hoping to ease their entry burden. A proportion of these also support the event, and we are grateful for their contribution. The club now asks you to support those who support the event. Think of that the next time you're ready to make a purchase. We'd like to thank the following sponsors and supporters: Acuna Springs, Alice Equipment Hire, Asprint, Complete Fencing, Wholesome, National Australia Bank, Red Centre Technology Partners, Thrifty, Yiparenya Shopping Centre. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are unlike many other promotional modelling positions around the country, selecting real women who have both a passion and interest in motorsport, but also have an interest in volunteering their time to a community event. They become part of the Finke. These women all bring a wealth of knowledge, experience and passion to the event and broadcast the race to a wider audience. We thank each girl for their contributions as volunteers. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are proudly sponsored by naming rights sponsors As-Build NT and accommodation partner Lassiter's. The Finke Desert Race Committee and club members congratulate and thank all our sponsors for getting on board Australia's greatest desert race. Not only is it the premier off-road event in the country, it is pulled together by a voluntary committee with enormous community support. It is the generosity of sponsors that keeps costs down and assists us to promote it far and wide. The Finke Desert Race Committee acknowledges the 18-year unbroken naming rights sponsor in Tatts. Tatts have invested in excess of $700 sponsorship since 2000, and together we have forged a strong sporting partnership. The one thing that the Tatts Finke Desert Race has maintained since it started in 1976 is that it allows anyone to enter. Whether you are the best in the country or just in it for fun, all competitors strive to achieve a finish. It is with the help of our platinum sponsors that anyone can have a go. We acknowledge the following: Alice Springs Town Council, Central Comms Alice Springs, the Community Support Program, Imparja Television, Lassiter's, Lion, Northern Territory Major Events Company, You Bet, and our official radio partner 8HA. The Finke Desert Race Committee would like to show great appreciation for our gold sponsors. Expertise to support the running of the event. As-Build NT, Chubb Fire and Security, Telstra, Ram Hire. With a race of epic proportions, it is the smaller sponsor that gets targeted by competitors hoping to ease their entry burden. A proportion of these also support the event, and we are grateful for their contribution. The club now asks you to support those who support the event. Think of that the next time you're ready to make a purchase. We'd like to thank the following sponsors and supporters. A community event. They become part of the Finke family and are widely recognised. These women all bring a wealth of knowledge, experience and passion to the event and broadcast the race to a wider audience. We thank each girl for their contributions as volunteers. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are proudly sponsored by naming rights sponsors As Build NT and accommodation partner Lassiter's. The Finke Desert Race Committee and club members congratulate and thank all our sponsors for getting on board Australia's greatest desert race. Not only is it the premier off-road event in the country, it is pulled together by a voluntary committee with enormous community support. It is the generosity of sponsors that keeps costs down and assists. The Finke Desert Race Committee acknowledges the 18-year unbroken naming rights sponsor in Tatts. Tatts have invested in excess of $750,000 in sponsorship since 2000, and together we have forged a strong sporting partnership. The one thing that the Tatts Finke Desert Race has maintained since it started in 1976 is that it allows anyone to enter. Whether you're the best in the country or just in it for fun, all competitors strive to achieve a finish. It is with the help of our platinum sponsors that anyone can have a go. We acknowledge the following: Alice Springs Town Council, Central Comms Alice Springs, The Finke Desert Race Committee and club members congratulate and thank all our sponsors for getting on board Australia's greatest desert race. Not in the country, it is pulled together by a voluntary committee with enormous community support. It is the generosity of sponsors that keeps costs down and assists us to promote it far and wide. The Finke Desert Race Committee acknowledges the 18-year unbroken naming rights sponsor in Tatts. Tatts have invested in excess of $750,000 in sponsorship since 2000, and together we have forged a strong sporting partnership. The one thing that the Tatts Finke Desert Race has maintained since it started in 1976 is that it allows anyone to enter. Whether you're the best in the country or just in it for fun, all competitors strive to achieve a finish. It is with the help of our platinum sponsors that anyone can have a go. We acknowledge the following: Alice Springs Town Council, the Community Support Program, Imparja Television, Lassiter's, Lion, Northern Territory Major Events Company, UBET, and our official radio partner 8HA. The Finke Desert Race Committee would like to show great appreciation for our gold sponsors, who provide key services and expertise to support the running of the event. Asbuild NT, Chubb Fire and Security, Telstra, Ram Hire. With a race of epic proportions, it is the smaller sponsor that gets targeted by competitors hoping to ease their entry burden. A proportion of these also support the event, and we are grateful for their contribution. The club now asks you to support those who support the event. Think of that the next time you're ready to make a purchase. Sponsors and supporters: Acuna Springs, Alice Equipment Hire, Asprint, Complete Fencing, Wholesome, National Australia Bank, Red Centre Technology Partners, Thrifty, Yiparenya Shopping Centre. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are unlike many other promotional modelling positions around the country, selecting real women who have both a passion and interest in motorsport, but also have an interest in volunteering their time to a community event. They become part of the Finke family and are widely recognised. These women all bring a wealth of knowledge, experience and passion to the event and broadcast the race to a wider audience. We thank each girl for their contributions as volunteers. The Finke Desert Race Grid Ambassadors are proudly sponsored by naming rights sponsors as